friends, Kelly here. Welcome back to my channel. It is 2024, so Happy New Year. If you're watching this at some other time, well then, hi, hey, how are you? I have a project on my desk that I'm going to be working on periodically. I am not going to do a project where it's all I'm going to work on. That has failed me miserably recently. As you may remember, if you've been around here for a while, I was working on a gratitude documented junk journal, which was kind of like a scrapbooky thing. And I was really going really well on that. And I actually have a lot more footage to share with you guys. I had some technical problems. I got a new computer, so I'm hoping to catch up on that soon. But I do have more videos I'll throw out soon on that. But I have other projects I want to work on. And I really just kind of am in a space where I just want to work on whatever I want to work on, whenever I want to work on it. So that's what I'm going to do. However, I do have a project on my desk, and this is kind of going to be an ongoing thing. But again, not going to say I'm finishing in this month or this year. I'm not even going to bother with this. It's just going to be an ongoing project, kind of like my Janie journal. I just add pieces whenever I feel like it. Okay, get to the point. What are we talking about today, Kel? I have this flip up journal on my desk, and if you are following Margreth from Seven Plaza this month in January, she's doing a junk journal. She's doing a junk journal January thingy. I am going to play along loosely. I might not play along every video, but I'll come back to it. I absolutely adore her and her videos, and I get so much inspiration. So I decided I would play along because I just really needed something to spark some creativity. So this is my version. Hers is a lovely bingo card, vintage bingo card journal. It's fantastic. And I wanted to create something similar. So this is what I ended up with. I'm going to show you guys how I created this. Super simple. I've made books and journals and things like this in the past, so this really wasn't out of my comfort zone, but super duper fun. So let me open it up and show you. This can be, mine's not as big as Margaret's, I don't think, but I can see how this is challenging. Let me see how much I am in out of frame. Okay, well, we'll just make the best we can. Let me share with you the front cover and back cover first. So let's go back a second here. Okay, so the front cover and the back cover are made with, or covered, I should say, with Tim Holtz backdrops from, what are they? Got them right here. Volume 1 and 3. I don't have 2. So I don't know. I haven't been able to get my hands on that, but I do have these two. And since I have these on my desk, I'm just going to talk about these for a second. I really like to be able to see what's in the pack. I don't always. Most of the time I take everything out of the packaging and I don't worry about it. But for these ones, I kind of am like, I don't want to have to rifle through these every time. However, that's not going to be a sustainable process, because once I start using them, I have no idea what I have unless I cross them out, and that's just way too organized for me. I don't do that. But at a glance, I'd like to kind of see, okay, what was in this pack. So rather than having to open it up and close it and all that, I just slit the side open, and then I can pull them out and I can put them back in. So just wanted to share that little trick with you if you have these and are looking for a way to kind of hold on to them, store them. So that's what I use to cover the inside and the outside. The inside, I didn't cover it with anything. So what did I use? Well, let me show you. I wish I had more of these books, but I don't. So let me grab, I have one of my trusty project boxes right next to me. So inside here, I'm keeping all the lovely bits, which I'll get to in a second, but let me grab these items out here. So this came from a book, and it was, let's see, it would have been like, I cut an extra piece off. I changed the size, but it would have been a book like this. So this is a book from, oh, I don't even know how old this book is. It's old. It's 60s, 50s, 70s, not 70s. I think it's 60s, maybe 50s, maybe early 50s, based on some of the content of the book. This was an encyclopedia set. I don't know if I've talked, and I'm also getting over a very mild cold, so here we are again. But anyway, this was an encyclopedia set that my husband and I got out of a dumpster. Yeah. I might have told the story before, so forgive me if you've heard it, but we have a recycle center in our town, city, community. I don't know if we're a city or a town. We're a city. We have a community recycle center. We bring the majority of our cardboard there. And my husband and I brought our cardboard there one day, and in one of the dumpsters was this huge set, basically. There was all these books, and I was, of course, like, oh my gosh, somebody threw those away. Also, they should have put them in that bin. That was kind of a no-no. But we kind of glanced at them, grabbed a few, and then we took out a bunch. So we ended up bringing home like 7 or 8 of them. And we had fun looking through them and kind of holding on to them. But eventually, I had no idea what to do. This was pre-vintage junk journal Kelli. So I really had no good use for them. And the content didn't really fit with anything I ever really worked with. So I kept one book that had like a bunch of camping stuff in it. And I threw the rest away, which I'm kicking myself for now, but it is what it is. This was one of the books. I recently gutted it. I took all the innards out, all the papers, because I wanted to make sure I'm using them, and I wasn't using them unless they were easily grabbable. So then I had the cover still, and I decided I'd keep it just for a little longer, and I'm so glad I did, because I was looking for, and it's shedding, it's driving me nuts. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. I was looking for a book that I could demolish to make the covers this. I wanted something thicker, and I didn't have really a good book for it. So here comes Popular Mechanics Do-It-Yourself Encyclopedia. Okay, that's where it came from. So that's why you'll see some red here. And the inside of the book is already a lovely vintage paper. So I left that. Okay, so I did a little bit of stamping and distressing, and then I put a pocket in. I'm going to talk about this in a second. I want to show you guys the other side first. On the other side, the back, I did the same thing. I did a little bit of distressing, a little stamping, and then I put these 2 pockets in. Now, I wasn't planning to film this, but then I decided I kind of want to because I'm going to be working in it probably a lot. And I regret not showing you the construction of this. But to be fair, I had no idea what I was doing. So I will try to explain it best I can. Okay, so I want my book to stand up, right? And by standing it up alone, it's going to do this because it's going to have a lot of stuff in it. So I came up with an idea to have some way to make it a stand. Here's what I came up with. This little paper clip, you just kind of slide to the side. This is a pocket, which I did create gussets, so it's got a little more room. This little piece folds down. I'm going to decorate this at some point and put some cute, lovely stuff on there. But for right now, this just pops down. And then you flip it over. And it connects. I can get this to work on camera. This is not easy to do on camera. It connects here. And there you go. I'll make sure I throw a photo in. I'll try to. So you could see. But it's going to stand up like this. There we go. So then I can put it on my desk like that. Now you might be wondering, how is this standing? Watch this. So it's not just simple thick cardstock that's folded. No, there's magnets in here. So let me show you the magnets. So this is my little box of hardware. And in here somewhere is this little tiny box of magnets. This I got on Amazon. There's 100 of 1 millimeter thin magnets, something or other. I'll make sure to link it. I got them on Amazon. But what I wanted, I can't remember where I was. I was somewhere and I saw some sort of closure, or I saw it on a video. I don't remember, but I thought, that's genius. Magnets, but you really want them to be super thin. So I found these, get them apart. And they are, I don't know if you'll be able to see, they're very, very thin. Very thin. So what I did was I took 4 of these. 4? 1, 2. No. Yes. Uh-oh. What's going on? They're very strong too. They really like each other. I'll keep one out if I can and get them back apart. Not having nails does not make this an easy job. There we go. Okay. So let me get this out of the way here. What I did. This piece here. Okay, so let me kind of lost the magnet again. Whatever. This piece here has about a 1/2 inch, just like this side. This is a 4" by 6". So, oh, my whole book is 6x8. I wanted it to be a simple size I could work with. So it's 6x8. This piece here is a 4x6 card, as is this. This I made a pocket, so you can maybe see there's some gusseting in there. And before I glued this down, I took this piece of 4x6 and I scored 1/2 inch on either side. I'm pretty sure this is at 1/2 inch. Yeah, 1/2 inch. Glued it down to this side. Did all the inking. You know, don't forget to do your inking. And then if you can see, maybe you could kind of tell, but depending on if I can turn it in the right light, there are magnets here on this side. Is it that side? Yeah, there's magnets here and here. So I have 2 right here. And then I took another piece of scrap paper, and just to make it pretty and decorative, I did a 1" piece, and I scored it in the middle so that it would cover both sides. So this and this side are covered. The magnets are glued down underneath this piece. I hope this is making sense. Then I really wanted Margaret, in her first day video for her January, she used these little, I don't know what they're called either, these little turny doodad thingies. I know in the house I grew up in Minneapolis, it was built in the 30s, and all the window screens were held in place by these little hardware pieces that you could turn. Kind of like you would see also on maybe a picture frame, sort of. Anyway, I would love to find those. And I used to have a whole bunch, and I got rid of them, and I cannot, there's so many things that I used to have that I got rid of. Ugh. Paperclip's going to work for now. However, when it's down, this piece folds up. Okay, so it's pretty good and thick because it's basically 2 pieces of scrapbook paper thick. Then we go to the other side. These little rings are going to drive me nuts. Here, these are 2 more pockets. So I just used the same scrapbook paper as this one to create this pocket. And again, I added the gussets for both pockets, so there's lots of room. And I created 1 pocket and then this pocket. Now, what I should have done is I should have glued the magnets. It's really okay. It's actually not that big of a deal, but if I did this again, I would glue the magnets between these 2 pockets, just so they're a little closer and there's not as much interference. But the magnets are actually glued to the book, this piece here, underneath this blue pocket, okay, the map pocket, so that they're in the same spot. So you have to make sure you line them up. All I did was I attached the magnets to this side, like this, and I put some glue on them, and then I figured out where they were going to live, like that, okay? Just so I could have like and then it put a little dot there. Of course, it stuck to this one. I had to take it off, but at least I kind of knew where my magnet was going. So, at any rate, the magnets here, which I did on the wrong side. Also, I did this backwards. The magnets should be on this side. I don't know why I did it on this side, but they still work. So between all the layers of paper it still has to get through, these magnets are good because it still holds. So it connects. See? Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so that's how I made the stand part. The only other thing is I would have maybe attached it the other way around, because here's the thing. It's going straight from this piece here, and what it wants to do, oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay. Like it did it from the back, is that it wants to pull that way. So instead of my book being kind of tilted back more, it's tilting forward ever so slightly. So for what it's worth, there are little tricks and little things that I've learned. So if I ever did another one of these, I would try to remember to do it differently. I don't know if I would, but I would try to do it differently. But in the end, I guess the takeaway is that experiment, and I made it work. So that's kind of how my book is constructed. So I used, let's see, what's the thingy called? This thing, crocodile, or I don't know if that's truly what this is called. Whatever this thing is called, I think it's a crocodile. I use that for the holes. I might play with some alcohol inks to change these. I don't have any brass colored ones, but I do have alcohol ink that might do that for me. So I might play with that. I've been wanting to do that. Hole reinforcers, you know, you get the point. Okay, so again, I will link these little magnets. I can see them being used. Oh gosh, sorry, that was loud. I could see me using them for other closures. Like, I have ideas. So, okay. For decorating on the front, I just used some Tim Holtz. I don't know what pack this is. I have the packaging still because I just got it. The palette. I believe it was out of palette. Yeah. I used palette. I didn't want to overthink this. I just created a cute little cluster here. And I just thought this dog was adorable and the whole works. And I love these background papers. I just love the pink. I need a little bit of color, which I'm going to talk about in a few minutes here. And then I just made some hole reinforcers, which I will tell you, I figured out the best way to make these now is the biggest setting on here. And then I have from EK Tools, the 1/2-inch circle punch made this. So I'll be using that a ton. And then if I go back to the inside, again, as I've shown, I have a pocket, so I can do something with that. Then I just went through and put some papers in. Some of these are things I had laying around, and some are from a new to me digital set that I found while I was doing a little browsing the other day and printed out and love it. So I will share that with you momentarily. And you might be like, yeah, we know about that one. We've been using that for ages. I have not. So that's where these papers came from. So this is a digital that I printed back to back. I wonder if I'm going to have to, well, I might have to do a lot of flipping and flopping. This is a digital that is printed front and back. So isn't this lovely? Kind of a collage-y. I'm trying to figure who I got that. Vintage by Me. Is Vintage by Me? Yeah. I was watching an older video of Margreth and she mentioned Vintage by Me and I'm like, how have I missed that? So I went and checked out Vintage by Me, which I got a couple papers. A lot of really cool stuff, but these are the ones I really liked. So I printed a few of these out back to back. I'm really craving color. really craving color. So this one, this is this page here. No? Yeah. This page. And I don't know which page that is. I mixed them up. That page. Oh, it must be this page. And then I guess I have this one too. So yeah, lots. And I made them I printed them back to back on purpose. Okay. This is a piece of, am I in frame? Kind of, not really. There we go. My iPad's in the way. I'm going to move that. Okay, maybe that'll help. Ooh, clean that part of my desk. Let's see. Yeah, that kind of helps. I'll just move it up and back and forth. Okay, so this is Vintage magazine. I don't really know what I'm going to do with this, and I don't know what I'm going to do when I get to this page. Or what I'll do on this page, I should say. So I just left it long and folded it up. That way I had a little bit of flexibility with what I want to do. Plus it needs to be reinforced. It's very thin paper. This is a piece of watercolor paper. I just really like the texture. This is vintage paper from a magazine from like 1890, Scribner's Monthly, I think. I had used a piece of this in my Janie journal, and this was just an extra part of the book. It's just text and like lovely, distressed edging, naturally distressed. So I didn't scan it or anything because it's just text, and I have loads of it. This is a piece of handmade paper. I don't know who made it. It wasn't me. This is a piece of scrapbook paper that I cut down, but it's super thick, and it doesn't have a backing, or it's not two-sided, and I could not run this through my printer. There's no way my printer would have liked this. So when I get to that, I will just figure out what to do on the back. I'll probably cover it with some. This is, let me turn it this way actually, a piece of music paper from a book. And I didn't, again, I wanted to give myself some options. So it's 2-page, I cut it down, I folded this up. I might make a pocket, I might make a fold out, I don't really know. We'll tackle that when we get to it. But that's that. This is a piece of scrap file folder. It's actually got some old information on here. Boy, I haven't had that phone number in probably 25 years. I'm going to cover that obviously, but I liked this part of it. And then this is a piece of digital from Vibe of Vintage, I believe. Collage-y kind of paper. Let's see what else. Oh, okay. Let me talk about this new kit, new to me kit. It's not new, but it's new to me, and where some of these papers are coming from, and show you the page I have already made. Before I start talking about this kit, I did want to talk about this. I love templates. It makes my life so much easier. So I did make myself a template for cutting the holes, or to know where to punch holes. However, I'm looking at this and I think it's crooked, which kind of makes sense because some of my pages don't sit quite right. So it goes to that, and then down here. Yeah, that's the problem. Huh. It is crooked. Is it? It is. Okay. So if you make a template, make it straight. When this stands up, this side, which would be odd that it'd always be that side. I must have just, when I picked out all my papers, I just started going. This side kind of just hangs down a little lower. And I couldn't quite figure out why, but now it's because all those holes are probably punched a smidge lower. Some of them might be the other way around, but and I have to fix that. Okay. Anyway, make yourself a template, but make it right. That's my advice to you. This is, I've already started cutting stuff out of it because I love it. This is from Michelle at the Junk Journal Studio, and it is the Junk Journal Essentials Volume 2. And why I picked this up is because, like I said, I'm craving some color, and right off the bat, and this is probably totally out of order of which way the files came or how you see it on Etsy, and I will make sure it's linked below, but it had some color, so I needed that. So this I've already pulled apart because this is a bingo card that was here. And then the other little bingo card I'll show you in a second because I used that on my first page project. So there's some bingo cards, which I loved. These two are the same. This one's a little different. I wonder if the one on my page is... Yes, so the image is the same, it's just a different color and different size, okay? But then you've got your documents and what would these be, like invoices, things like that. And they're kind of turned every which way, so I'll try to turn them as I go. I'll do a quick flip through. But again, what I liked is that there's just a variance of color. So I feel like a lot of my projects I'm starting to feel like are all this color. And I need a little more of this, a little more green, a little more yellow, a little more pink, reds. I need more color. Right now, I haven't seen the sun in days. It's that time of year for us here in Minnesota where it is bleh. So color is definitely much needed. Even if it's kind of more muted color, I need color. Okay, so I'll just kind of do a quick flip through so you're kind of seeing some of the images. I love that. Light yellows, and they're like warmer colors, which is very much needed. Some blues. Oh, the other thing I did, let me back up for a second here. When I printed this, yes, I printed it all in one go because I wanted to have them already on hand. Yeah, this one here. I did a mix of weight of paper, type of paper. So a lot of these are on the Canon photo matte paper that I really like. I don't know the thickness of it. It's not quite as thick as a cardstock, but it's not as thin as a copy paper. And I know in, other countries, you guys talk about, I can't even think. Well, how do you guys, GSM, A2, A4. We use letter and pound by pound. So I don't know what kind of weight this paper is. I don't even know if it's on the package. Maybe I'll look sometime. However, my other favorite paper is this 32-pound paper. I don't know what the weight is in the GSMs or whatever, but it's like butter. it is so luxurious. I just love feeling it. It stamps really nice. It picks up the color really nice. And it's a thinner paper, but it's not as thin as copy paper. So it still has a little bit of weight to it. So it's great for collaging. It's great for, you know, anything you don't want it to have that extra weight. And then of course there's copy paper. But what I did was I just grabbed my 2 papers and I just kind of randomly put them all together to get enough pages and put them in my printer and then let fate decide. So some of them are going to be a thinner, like this is that 32-pound paper. That way when I'm going through this happened accidentally when I did print the ultimate pack that I love, that I talk about so much. And I actually found I really liked having that difference. And if I come to this page, I'm like, oh, I really want this to be a cardstock, I'll print it in cardstock or, you know, the thicker paper. But sometimes I might be like, perfect, this is exactly the weight I need because I want to make this look like, you know, whatever this is, a stock certificate, whatever. Okay, so that's the only other thing I wanted to talk about. But then, as you can see, like I said, there's just a little bit more color to it. And there's very basic pieces. This is awesome. I actually used this and this printed, no, not this. This and this piece printed back to back, and you'll see that here shortly. So I love this. I'll probably use this a lot. Really good standard pieces you can use over and over and over. Lots of cute little ornate things. Okay, you're getting the point. But I mean, there's a lot in here that's versatile. A lot of blank things you can do, a lot of cool things with. Like this could even be a little ID card, like maybe like it says it's for a book, but it could be cute to be like a little, I don't know, student ID or something. Let's see. Pink. Look at these cute things here. Music. I mean, it's got really everything. Map. Bright color, like really rich color maps, which I really, really love. This I cut out, I don't know what I did with the piece that this was. It's really cool. It's got a bunch of numbers on it. It's around here somewhere. These, I don't know what are, but they're really pretty. I don't do a lot of pretty, but I'm kind of feeling like I want to. Oh, these are so cool. You probably saw the big playing card I had. I love that. So these are really cool. Love, love, love these. And it really inspired me on my first project, which you will see shortly. So playing cards. Look at how this is the other side of that big number 8 in my book. Cool postcards. And the back. So like you could make, I'm not very good at figuring out how to double print. I don't think it would actually work to double print them because they're in the same location. So you can't two-side it unless you mirrored one. Maybe. I don't know how I don't do that fancy printing, but you can cut them out and put them together. No big deal. Postcards. I'm telling you, this has everything. Recipe from a cookbook, some letters, more letters. Ooh, House of Representatives, Washington, D.C., 1881. That's cool. Letters, whatever this is. I love this. I don't know what it says. I love that even more. Let's see. Whatever that is. This is cool. This is one of the pieces that's actually in here. So this piece right here. Did I print it the same size? Yes, I did. Okay. These cool little index cards, which those are plenty here, but it sounds like maybe in some other countries you guys don't use those, so you don't have access to those. So that's cool. Rolodex cards. That's really neat. Little ladles. And then there's a couple backgrounds. So I used this on the back of, one of my pages. And then look at all these colorful tickets. I love it. I love it. I love it. More tickets and little coupon thingies. Oh, this is that piece I was talking about. I already cut it out. Then I printed a couple of them. 4 to a page, 2 to a page. I love that trick. Thank you, Margaret, for teaching us that, or reminding us, or telling us. Well, you taught me. I mean, I probably knew it was there, but I didn't actually ever, utilize that feature. Okay, so what have I already made? I've got my book, and I made a project. So let me show my project to you if I can get my hands on it here. I made my first page. So like I said, I'm going to take inspiration from Margaret and her projects. I think most of the time. Sometimes maybe I'll deviate. I don't know. Haven't decided. But I'm going to take an element or two out of what she does and incorporate it into my book. So the element from her first day was this little flip down pocket envelope thing. So I wanted to make those. She made 2 on a card that they hung down on. My book's not structured that way, so I just made 1. And I did like the idea of flipping it up. But then I was like, oh, that's okay. I'll just glue it on there and close it and little tie. It'll be fine. But when I made this is this paper here, one of these. Is it this? Yeah, one of those. When I folded it all together and then I saw the back, I realized that the back of this says Minnesota. It says Duluth. That Duluth area is where I was born in Two Harbors, which is north, is along Lake Superior. And so the North Shore, and there was like St. Paul, and I was like, well, that's super cool. I love that. So I wanted to be able to read that. So I did decide to do the flip up. And then I just embellished with a few things. Like this is from Tim Holtz. This is from that set. This, I think, is Tim Holtz. I can't remember. I think it is. Yeah, it must be. So here's what I created. I created this little pocket that pops down, and inside I have a few little bits of ephemera. And I decided to go, is that it? Yep. With kind of a game theme. I'm not really sure where that started. Probably this, once I got this ticket thing out, I was like, well, that'd be kind of fun. And then I found some Tim Holtz stuff that kind of went that way. So these are the printable from the Junk Journal Essentials. Let me grab that page back out here. Maybe. Yeah, here it is. So it was part of this page here. So you can see the other colored ones. So these, and there's one more color that I stuck in my scrap box, but I'll show that to you guys in a second. And then one of the little cards. This I just cut out and I glued them back to back and distressed it so it looked old. And same thing with this. I just distressed it. It's printed on white, so I used antique linen to get that look on the back, vintage photo to ink it up, and then I did, my little tricks of folding things. So, and I used my perforator dealie. This one that I almost threw away years ago, and I'm so glad I didn't. I used that to go between the lines and on the edge so that it looked, more authentic. You can make digitals look authentic. You just gotta think about what would it really look like if it had been sitting around that long. So I just tucked those pieces in here. And then for a closure, I was really struggling with that because I wanted one of those little turny things again. I made this. So this is one of those little pointy fingers ephemera from Tim Holtz pack. It is, again, had I known I was going to show this to you, I would have filmed it as I made it, but I had no idea what I was doing, and it was 10 o'clock last night. So I mounted it on a piece of foam, and I put an eyelet in, and I just ever so slightly crimped it in just so it would still have some turn. I backed the finger with a thick chipboard kind of cardstock, so it had a little more to it. And then I just used some inks to get it to be the color I wanted. So I used oxide dried marigold, way too orange. Went over it with, I think tea dye and maybe a little antique linen. So just to try to get this kind of color I wanted. And I think it worked really well. This is a pocket down here with a bingo card. It was too tall, so I just ripped it off the bottom. And I used one of these little daubers, one of my little ink daubers, to daub it as if it were, I don't know what they would have done in old days, but now when you play bingo, you daub it with a dauber thingy. So that's what I did. Authentic, I don't know, but fun nonetheless. This is another one of those tickets. This is actually one piece from the one that's in this envelope. Playing card, domino, yeah. Did just distress the back just a little bit. Otherwise, I didn't do a whole lot. So that's the project that I have made so far. And here's how I'm going to work through this book. I'm not going to flip it over and do day 2 on that. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is get this in my book. I'm going to work this way. So this is going to be, I don't know if it'll be this page. I might move them around. These are just kind of to be in there. but then it'll go day 2, day 3, or project 3, or however I want to call it, project 3, project 4, etc. Then when I get all done going all the way through, and maybe I'll add more pages, I don't know, I will flip the book, and then I will start working my way back through the book. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. That's what I'm thinking about doing, because what I want to be able to do is see, I don't know, I just want to be able to see this project and then see one behind it, and I want to see it building up. I thought that would be kind of fun. Okay, so how does this look standing? Let's go ahead and get it up on my desk, which I'm really excited about this because it's so cute. So this is what it looks like. I don't know if this translates well to video, but that's how it looks. I love it. So I will be working on project number 2 here shortly, and that will be in a separate video, but it probably come at, I'll probably put it up right away at the same time as this one, or nearby, close by. I don't know how that worked. But this video is probably, excuse me, already long enough. But before I go, I want to do one little thing on here and talk about a mistake I made. And I wanted to share something else with you. What was it? Oh, just another project share, just a quick one. So when I made this envelope, I had little brads here, but when I went to close it, it was just way too bulky, and I had to have this on 2 pieces of foam, and I did not like that. It was just way too bulky. And this book can be bulky. It can grow with the rings, which I think is awesome. However, that was too much. So, but this is glued down, and they were like really on there. So I had to rip them out. Thankfully that went okay. Otherwise I was gonna have to cover this whole thing. But I ripped them out, and now I'm left with these little holes. So I was trying to think of what to do, and I remembered this stuff. And I thought, well, why don't I just try putting a little dot on it and see if that makes it look like a brad? So I thought I'll have you guys enjoy that with me. Well, let's see if this works. So I can't quite remember how to do this, but I think what you need to do is heat it, if I remember correctly. I'm going off memory, so hopefully this isn't an epic fail. But I know you gotta shake it around. And this is the statue color, so I'm hopeful this will work. I probably should take it out of the book. Let's do that, because I'm gonna heat it, and I don't need to heat the whole project. Get that out of there. I do love the idea of a ring bound project because you can take things out, and just as much as I like an elastic bound project where you can take things out. I prefer that. Okay, I already have my heat gun ready to go. Project. I have a feeling the next project I work on today is going to be when the light is really bad. I mean, it's only 1:40 in the afternoon, and it's so bleh. So bleh. Okay, let's do one at a time. So I'm just going to put a big, oh boy, I don't think this is going to work. Oh yeah, I don't think so. Is it? Hot. It's hot. What's happening here? Let's see. It's just, oh yeah, I forgot how cool it is. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Well, it kind of like stained the paper, and then it went into the hole, and it's probably kind of behind there. Okay, so my thought is, let's do it again. It's gonna be just a blob. Okay, so now it's just a blob of, yeah. Okay, did I ruin anything inside? I forgot there was stuff inside. Oh, I love that. All right, I'm gonna do another blob, because why not? Ooh, that one's a little bit more. Making a mess. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna really, it's never really gonna build up a layer. It's not gonna like stay as a blob. But I kind of like this weird thing I'm doing. So I'm gonna do it again on the side and call it good. Whoa, covering up the word. Oh, I do love this stuff. It's so neat. It's very liquidy though. Come on. Ugh, stinky. Okay. Well, for what it's worth, that was an interesting experiment. It did something. Not quite what I wanted, but it did something. Interesting. I'm going to warp my paper a little bit. That's all right. Okay, so what did we learn? That you can't build up a blob. I wonder... No. I'm wondering if I had put down a little dot of hot glue, let it cool and form. You know what? It's almost like I wanted this to be wax. That's what I think I was thinking. I was thinking it would be more like, I guess I kind of forgot what this product does. I mean, it is wax, but I was thinking it'd be less liquidy wax and more of like a little blob of wax. I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. But I'm not mad at this result. I think it's weird, but I like it. It just, so the, whatever's in this, whatever chemical, is maybe like an oil base or something. I can't remember. I'm sure Tim Holtz told us all about it. But that, you know, I can't be bothered going back and watch that video. You guys know that. But it's cool. It's weird, but it's cool. I like it. Okay. So that's that. So I'll get that tucked in the book. Ooh, there's a little blob there. No, I don't know what that was. All right. Stuff everywhere. Okay, set that aside. I have one more thing to show you. At least I think I have one more thing to show you. I think in a previous video, I shared this box. I think. I know I've shared at least one of them. I have another one. I might as well grab it. So I have this one. I'm pretty sure I shared this one in kind of that big project share video I did, which some of you might be here because of that video, so thank you for sticking around. This was a box I collaged and made dividers inside, and I keep a lot of my labels and tags that are nature inspired, like entomology and botany, and I can't say the word that mushroom study is mycology, I think it is. Anyway, I made this box. This was, again, inspired by Margreth, and I love it. I'm not going to flip it over because I made that mistake one time. So then this is a box that I got, a couple of them as I was testing out some packaging for handmade candles that a class I was teaching, and I wanted to be able to provide resources on people that wanted to package them. So that's why I had this box, and I'm like, well, this is kind of a perfect box. So, oh, and I just sent it flying over my desk or my little shelf unit. Whatever. So then I collaged a second one because I enjoyed that so much, and I was keeping something in this. Or was I? Oh, I was going to keep something in it. I ended up not. But I collaged, this one I will flip over because it won't matter. I collaged another one. And honestly, for me, this process, it's kind of like making a master board, but having a functional thing to go with it. And whenever I'm stuck in a rut of what should I do, like I need to do something creative, but I don't know what to do. This seems to be one of the projects I really enjoy, and it really sparks creativity for me and gets my motivation going, my mojo. So inside, again, it's all collaged. I am keeping all my scraps. My little scrap bin, which I might have shown before, this is now my basic scraps, was overwhelming. It was overflowing, and I couldn't really handle it anymore. And that became evident to me when I did a third collage box, which I briefly showed you, and I'll bring back out in just a second. But this is now where all of my scraps go, okay? So I just, after I'm done with projects, so now instead of throwing them in this little bin over here, I just keep a little pile, and when I'm all done, I'll go through it and deem what's worthy of keeping and not. I've got to be a little more selective. I have too many scraps. And then it goes into the collage scrap box that is collaged. So, but it's super pretty on my shelf. I love it. Because I loved those boxes so much, I went onto the website that I got the first two from and ordered some additional samples. Should I have used them for the intended purpose of like buying samples to be able to make a decision on buying future product from them? Probably, but I didn't do that. I chose to just snatch up a few more of their samples at a really good price. It's cardboard boxes. And then of course now I have, I'm overflowing in cardboard boxes, but I just wanted them to be the same kind of style and like construction, and they coordinate, you know? So, but now I've been collecting boxes and I love it. Okay, get to the point, right? This is the box that I've been keeping all of my snapshots in. This is where all of my Tim Holtz Photomatic, photo booth, and whatever these things are called. I think these are called snapshots, right? Then anytime I cut down or have digital ones or anything like that, I'm kind of putting them in here too. I don't know if that's the long-term solution because I might end up with so many, but let me take this all out so you can get the full look at this box. I love this project so much. I highly encourage you to try it. And just, next time you get a little box, hold on to it, try this, and have fun with it. Watching somebody collage, I don't know if it's super exciting, but if you ever want to know how I do this to start, I mean, I can do a video where I show you kind of the basics of how I start this process. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. Drop a comment. Okay, so because this is my third one, I have kind of now a formula that I do. I have a whole lot of this book page from some old vintage books that I have gutted out, and I never threw away the pages, thankfully. And so I usually use that to be my base in the bottom and in the bottom box of the box and on the bottom of the box. I like to cover the whole thing. Then I just use scraps. This box, because it had a purpose of being about photos, I wanted to incorporate that idea into it. So I did use some digitals that have photographs. So like here's a little photo. I like things to tuck around and wrap around, so I have that. Here on this side, hopefully it's not shockingly close, is another one. I'm trying to think of where this came from. I scanned a page from one of that yearbook that I picked up. If you saw my recent vintage haul video, I got a yearbook, and so I scanned a page out of that. I love this picture. I have it in a big format, but I scanned it and made it teeny tiny. It's super cute. And I'm working on scans and possibly putting together some freebies and some digitals I'm going to sell. I'm doing some more research on public domain and copyright law, and there's a reason why I never went into law or anything like it. Let's see. Photo. This is kind of where the idea of putting photos on it came from, actually, was I put her on there and I was like, that's actually a really good idea. Let's see. And then on the front, the top, my favorite. Oh, and this guy, I love that. Let's see if there's anything else. I use some washi tape. Anytime I have a really hard area to cover, I will use some washi. That seemed to work really well. Wanted to incorporate color. This is kind of one of those projects where I was like, I need some color. And let's see, on the front, and florals. I love florals. I really do. I need more of those. I picked out a few of my favorite pictures to just highlight on the front. This guy, it's an identity card kind of thing from the Ultimate Ephemera Pack. These are photos that I picked up in that vintage store near me. Not vintage, antique store. I love this picture so much, and I always think that could be Janie. And let's see what else is on here. Oh, that's kind of it. Yeah. So anyway, this is just a cute box that I collaged that all of these photos go into. And if I need a bigger box or I need to reposition things or move things around, I will. maybe this ends up becoming a box where it's just all scrap, like digitals that I print, or I don't know. I like the idea of some organization in this creative madness. The only other thing I think worth sharing, and I apologize if I've already shared this because I can't remember. I filmed videos that never made it and maybe never see the light of day. So this is another little collage project. Made a little box. Forgive me if I've already shared this, but I do love this. This is where I just keep my little daubers on my desk. I'm almost confident I filmed something about that, but I don't know, like I said, if you guys saw it. And then I picked up one of these little Tim Holtz boxes, which I thought would be fun to do something with, but I don't know what to do with it. And I'm probably never going to do anything with it, but I do like it. It fits with the whole vintage kind of aesthetic that I love. So it is now going to be my little bits and bobs box. I don't have a lot of those, so this is now going to be on my desk. Reason why I'm talking about this is because I love tips and tricks and getting ideas from people on not only creatively, like what you're doing and how you're creating things, but how do you store things? What are some just things that make your crafty time more efficient? And this is one of the things for me. When I'm going through like any sort of digital or like the Tim Holtz ephemera, there's so many pieces in there, and I know I have an idea of something else I want to work on, or I know a project's coming up in my mind that I want to do something with, I will pull a piece out and I will set it aside. So that's what this little box is going to be for me for a while, is setting aside. Like, I'll tell you, I'll just give you kind of a glimpse into my mind. This is actually goes in my scrap box. I don't know why that's there. This tag has the number 79 on it. Well, that's the year I was born. So my birthday is in 12 days. My birthday's in 12 days. So my January journal is going to be a little bit about, I'm going to tuck things in that are kind of significant to me and kind of, you know, my birthday. So I was born in 1979. So I saw this tag and I was like, oh, that'll be a really fun thing to incorporate in this book. This is from Tim Holtz ephemera, and it says Minnesota Avenue. This is not actually probably Minnesota, but it says Minnesota Avenue, so I thought that was kind of cool. It's actually Kansas City Public Service on here, but it said Minnesota, so I'm keeping it out. Oh, and then sometimes I made this tag for something, not using it, so I'll just, again, kind of keep it there so it's front and center. I use it. I get, you know, I take care of those little pieces that I pull out so I don't end up with little trays everywhere, because I have one of those and that didn't work for me. Here's one of those situations where I have this little tray and I just kept moving it around, and now I feel like I need to incorporate all these things back into their homes. This little tray system is better for me when I'm working on a project, keep the things going, and then when I'm done, I clear it all out and move it. But having these cute little bins on my desk, I actually find these very functional. This is one of my favorites. I rifle through it whenever I'm looking for something. Anything this is kind of another one of those holding zones for really favorite things. So that is just a trick of mine that I like to share with you. And I hope you find it useful. Okay. I think that's probably it for this video. I have a feeling I'm going to go and pick up my 5-year-old from school, because my older one is at camp, and come home and get back to crafting and probably filming the next video. So, not sure when you're going to see that, but it should be soon. And I'll be working in my January junk journal. Okay, that's all for me today, friends, or for now, rather. I will see you guys next time. Bye.